Today marks the launch of QPR in the Community Trust's Drink Aware campaign, a programme which has been happily supported by the QPR squad. Alcohol misuse indicators for Hammersmith and Fulham are all above the national average for binge drinking, alcohol dependency, mortality from chronic liver disease for males and females, as well as hospital admissions attributable to alcohol for males and females. The aim of the campaign is to have a positive impact on the local community, and the QPR players all know the importance of alcohol in moderation. Without such discipline, they wouldn't be where they are today, as Hogan, Ephraim and Gareth Ainsworth explain.
You've got to choose, you've got to make sacrifices, and if you want to do well in sport, that's one of the sacrifices you have to make. You can't say you never do it completely, that's a personal choice. But maybe a little here and there is not the worst, but still the football's more important, so just stick to that.
A few drops of alcohol is going to affect anyone's performance at anything. You know, your coordination, your balance, the way you judge situations. That's in normal life. So, you know, if you're attempting anything in sport or professional football, especially, you know, it's a sacrifice that you have to make. You know, it's a well-known fact that alcohol deteriorates most performances in most things. So. You know, in football, it's a big no-no.
It'll dehydrate you, so maybe it'll make you cramp up more. I think the next 2 to 3 days in training, you'd feel yourself more drained out and maybe more physically tired and mentally as well. So recovery-wise, it's not the best.
There's a drinking culture amongst fans, and I'm sure that the most trouble that there'll be alcohol involved somewhere. You know, it's all right going to games and you know, saying you're two penneth, but when alcohol gets involved, obviously people get bravado, opposition fans come into it, and you know, that's where the trouble starts. So it's a big no-no again in excessive alcohol. I'm not saying that a couple of drinks before a game is not the right thing to do, because obviously people enjoy that, but if you can't handle your drink, then there's no point drinking loads of pints and then going for a fight at a game. It's just ridiculous and stupid, and it's definitely something football can do without.
It makes it a lot more aggressive atmosphere. I think the Millwall-West Ham game recently, I think you saw where that was a night-time kick-off. Maybe a lot of fans had alcohol and that played a big part in it. So it's not great. You'd like to see fans enjoy themselves, but maybe limited use, but not excessive.
At the beginning of my career, we're talking 20 years ago, you know, the emphasis on diet and hydration and things weren't as big as they are now. We didn't know what we did now, but we knew that alcohol would be a detrimental thing, you know, and the research has come through the years and more, and now, you know, you have to be an athlete first and a footballer second in this game. You look at all the Premier League players, the athletes first, and alcohol is not going to go hand in hand with that. You know, you really need to cut down or not drink. A lot of the top players don't drink at all now. Like I'm saying, it's not having a glass of wine with a meal or something, but you know, going out binge drinking, I think, is a thing of the past for football. And I honestly say that my fitness has played a big part in me being a footballer for so long, and cutting out alcohol has played a big part in that. You know, it's I'll have a drink with the best of them, but I know when and where it's acceptable. And there's no way that you know, you could be a drinker and a footballer at the same time. Now it's just it wouldn't go. And I think the days gone by of the stories you hear, that's all in the past now. It's athlete game now. You have to be tip-top condition, and alcohol's not going to help you do that. So it's a sacrifice, but believe me, the pros outweigh the cons.
I think if you hide away from it, that's probably the worst thing you can do. You've seen a few high-profile footballers like George Best and Paul Gascoigne have troubles, and it's not nice. You see what effects it has later on in life, and it's scary, like, as a young person. So you don't want to get into that. So just be sensible and get help if you feel there's a problem.
Don't be afraid to go and have a pint or a couple of pints, but know your limits. You know, don't be pressured into going for drinks with people if you don't want it. Be yourself. You know, it's a big thing. It's a hard thing to do sometimes, but you got to stand up. If you think it's wrong, then don't do it. You know, nobody's going to take offence on that. But you know, a glass of wine with a meal, people say is good for you. You know, and I agree. It's nice to have a glass of wine with a meal or something, but like you say, don't be pressured by your peers, your friends, going out binge drinking, getting into trouble. It's just not the right thing to do, and that's coming from someone who's probably had a little bit of that when they were younger and learned and grew up and has managed to stay in the game and happy now. You know, it's I'm not a teetotaler, and I don't profess to be. I don't have anything against teetotalers, but I do have things against these people who go out, binge drink for fun, causing damage, causing fights, and it's all because they've had a few too many. You know, it's just cut back and be yourself, be strong, and everyone will get along better.